Hello and welcome back to Marvel Puzzle Quest with me, P.I. McLeod. It is day 4028 according to this handy dandy screen right here. We are nearing the end of the anniversary login rewards, as you can tell. Just a couple left and then the anniversary's officially over by login reward standards. But if you're looking at the stores and the vaults and the shops, you still got a little time left to enjoy it. Here, if you didn't know, you can just say click on here, vaults. So like some of these are normal, right? But the 11th anniversary vault has restarted. We got 10 more days and some odd hours from when I'm stating this right now to go ahead and enjoy it with your HP. Okay, there's still some stuff left to get in there, and of course you can redo the vault whenever you want. Of course, that's up to you and your resources. As you can tell, mine has dwindled from like the over 40,000 I had in there when we got to the anniversary, and I've been spending, I don't know, here and there, maybe, just maybe. There's a couple things I want to state before I get into the Crash the Titans today. First off, we got that new Ghost Rider, Zero Cochrane. Anyways, sorry. I don't know the character. I don't know some of these characters that are on the side of things. But I learned because of this game. Because then I go out and Google and, you know, I read up a little bit, just a smidge. This guy is 2099, so I'm assuming him and Miguel O'Hara have probably like crossed paths a couple times in their past. Let's see how this other 4-star Ghost Rider works. Saw and Claw, put up to level 5, costs 8 red, select a column, destroy that column, deal some damage. Enemy has, so it's a little bit of a nuke, right? Enemy has more special tiles than you. I like the fact it's select a column, by the way. If I go even lower, it's always select a column. That's cool. A lot of older powers are like column at random, and for 8, being able to select a column and destroy it is pretty darn decent, actually. Anyways, select that column, deal some damage. Enemy has more special tiles than you. Destroy another 2 random rows, prioritizing those with enemy special tiles. So, in other words, if there's enemy special tiles out there, you're prioritizing those, or destroying those ones first and foremost. You're not necessarily selecting, but getting rid of enemy tiles is kind of a good thing. And it doesn't say strike, attack, protect. This is special. So we're talking charge, no, not charges, I'm sorry. Countdown, repeater, invisibility. You get it. That's some good stuff out there. Hey, how's it going, John? Good to see you, dude. Let's see. Deal another hit of damage along with the extra 2 rows destroyed. Not the coolest red ability in the world, but it is a nuke. You get to select the column of your choice, and then if there's specials out there, enemy specials of some sort, which that's a broad range, you destroy those as well in, well, 2 rows worth of them. This works well even on friendly things that happen. Like, I don't know, for example, Polaris. She creates 4 enemy tiles and 4 friendly tiles when you cast her blue, right? Just remember, like, that could help you just trigger Polaris more. Like, this guy's obviously a little bit of anti-Polaris, but even teamed with Polaris, he could work. Just saying. What's that? Really watching outside right now. Nice, John. That sounds awesome. Rage Against the System. I almost said the other word because, you know, we all know what we're talking about here. Let's see. Max level for 5 black. Drain 1 AP from each of Ghost Rider's weakest colors. So, you know, you look there and it's obviously what, yellow, green, and blue by default. Obviously, you can put a support on and change that if you wanted to. These are tactics you can use. Anyways, drain 1 AP from each of his weakest colors. Create a 3-turn countdown that converts 3 AP among his weakest colors into his strongest colors. That's a cool way for 5 black to basically turn up to 9 useless AP, you know, 3 per color, right, into actually useful AP. Now, of course, this is assuming that the rest of your team wouldn't like to use those colors either, but obviously then you wouldn't be casting his power if that was the case. Anyways, while it's on the board, allies gain 60% damage bonus and burst heal for an amount of health when they make a match or fire an ability. So a little bit of kind of like a touch of Dr. Bong in there, because he does that sort of stuff. We don't see this sort of ability that often. Something that lets people heal when they're making matches or firing abilities just passively. That's kind of neat. But of course, this is all dependent on that countdown being out there. So as long as that countdown stays out there, great. Just note that it's unfortified. Thankfully, it only costs 5 black, so putting it out there again isn't that hard. As a passive, he takes 50% less damage and deals 50% more damage if the enemy has more AP than you. So we might need to engineer a little bit of that. You might think to yourself, though, if the enemy has more AP than you, that means you're probably, if you're relying on this passive at all, then you're probably relying on certain types of teams. It might sound kind of cryptic there. Let me explain. This guy's obviously like, where's the word for it? He's a synthetic, an android, you know, a robot, yay. And you could team him with Deathlock, which is an obvious thing. A lot of people have already noticed. Hey, he's another Deathlock friend, right? Generate some extra AP based on that stuff, which is cool. But now if you're generating more AP, that means this passive isn't going to kick in as often because you're generating free AP. Okay, so you might want to think about how you utilize that, or if you utilize this thing at all. Okay, and then Visage of Vengeance for 6 purple. With his stealth field, Ghost Rider ambushes his enemies like a ghost from the fog, blah blah blah. Let's see, turns invisible for 5 turns. That's kind of cool. Just saying, that's pretty neat. Passive, when he makes a match or fires a power. And I take that as both of these things are possible to happen simultaneously because they are bullet pointed, so to speak, separately, but both under the same umbrella of when he makes a match or fires a power. If he's invisible, he turns visible and stuns the target for 3 turns. It's kind of cool if you don't mind losing your invisibility, right? And if an enemy has more health than him, he deals 21% damage, ignoring projectiles. That's pretty darn cool. So in other words, you could, as long as you're lower health than the enemy and invisible, you would turn visible, stun the target for 3 turns, and then deal 21% more damage and ignore projectiles. Now, of course, the way it's worded here, deals 21% damage. I assume that means more on top of what you're doing. Can't verify that, though. I don't have him myself to really go through, but I'm sure we'll figure it out soon enough, right? It's kind of a neat little ability there. I think the only problem I have with this passive is that you can't keep this guy invisible for long because of the fact he's going to turn himself visible if he ends up tanking anything. It's making a match or firing a power. So if he's your one that's tanking black or purple and he makes those matches, he's becoming visible whether you like it or not. He basically removes his own invisibility just because he made a match. Other characters aren't doing that. Invisible Woman isn't doing that. People hit by Agent Venom's yellow aren't doing that. This guy actually makes himself visible. It's at the cost of stunning the enemy. That's a positive, but obviously certain characters and situations make it where stunning isn't possible. So you might want to think about that. It'd be very much very annoying to be using the leapfrog support. Get that invisibility cast on you, and then all of a sudden now you're visible because he made a match. Just saying. Seems like a pretty cool character. He's got a lot of potential. He seems like he is a good ally with others. I don't know if he is definitely the tank you want to rely on, but he's got some ability for that. It all depends on your AP that you have overall, and of course your ability to get this some of these, well, basically to generate certain AP you're going to need. I think to run him, you're going to need to make sure you are flush with these AP that he needs to get going. Anyways. I'm sorry, what was that? Like Hitmonkey kind of with invisibility? Yeah, kind of like Hitmonkey with invisibility, that's right. Leapfrog uses a tile. Does that power use a tile as well? Leapfrog does use a tile. This power does not use a tile. That's a very interesting thought there. If he's invisible, turns invisible, stuns target for 2 turns. So what happens there? So does he remain invisible because the tile is there? Huh. Well, I'm sure that once we get one, we can test this out. Not just with him, with Leapfrog, but also with Invisible Woman. Her yellow lets you like, turn your teammates visible, right? Yeah, but then they don't have a tile for them. That's interesting. I guess just with Leapfrog would be one of the easiest ways to go about it. Okay. There's probably another way out there. I'm just not thinking clearly right now. By the way, I don't know if anyone else is thinking about it, but the Tinkerer support at level 5 does a big boost to people who are invisible. So just saying, if you really wanted to maximize it, Tinkerer at level 5 is pretty fun for invisible people. Anyways. What was that? Yeah, lab time. Yeah, it's definitely lab time for that one. Turn versus tile-based invisibility. It's true. It's a good point. And I don't think too many situations really negotiate that in this game. Another point I want to tackle before the crash. The anniversary pass is over, but it's still here. But it's not. But it's over. Look at this real quick. And I want you to do this on your own time too, because I don't want you to rely on my words. Look at it for yourself. You want to click anniversary pass. Look really close at it. Click. Did you see it? No? I'll do it again. Close it. Click. Did you see it? It's right there at the top. Tells you how long it has till this ends. But it's over. It's already over. We know it's over. Now this might be a glitch that is going on right now and they're going to patch in a day or two. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. But I can only tell you what I'm seeing right now. I'm going to click it again. Ends in 13 days, 15 hours, it says right now at this point. Now, I don't know exactly what that's alluding to, but I'm assuming maybe that they're going to maybe run this pass again on a subsequent season. Maybe everyone liked this idea of this pass so much that they're going to run it again. Because after all, it included some neat things in there, not just, you know, anniversary-esque prizes, but a costume or two, tokens, ISO for those who really need ISO still. You get the point. There's a lot of things that are in here, and if they can take your HP and use it, like as another way to drain HP from your account, they'll do it. I mean, HP is money, basically, and causing that need, that almost FOMO-like thing where you don't want to miss out on those premium rewards on the right side, that's a thing. Now, just I want to put this out there as a PSA. I don't have the HP for this right now because of, you know, anniversary stuff, but if I click the unlock button, I could actually buy it if I had the HP, and I don't right now. Don't buy an anniversary pass for nothing, okay? Don't do that. I've already heard some people online are trying to contact customer support because they clicked it and bought it for no reason. Don't know why you would do that, but hey, just my little PSA to you. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people could use the ISO, John. It's a big deal. Oh, hey, Amos. I didn't even see your text in the middle of there. Looking forward to trying out the new guys soon featured. Right. Me too, man. Let's see. We talked about the daily stuff, the anniversary pass, the new Ghost Rider. I think we're good. Oh, one last thing. Did you notice we beat the community challenge? That means we got our 3-star stone, our space stone to be exact. It's like over here. Oh, there it is. Look at that shining blue jewel, blue-ish jewel. That works, right? I'm gonna click into it, and we're not gonna be impressed at all. This looks like a, I don't want to say a joke, but just underwhelming. It's just super meh. Extra chance to get blue AP. I mean, this is only level 150, mind you. I threw all my red ice suit I could into it to level it up, but you only get a chance to get some more blue AP upon matches. Supporter character's crit multiplier goes up. Character's base blue damage goes up by a little bit. Not even enough to really talk about, but it's something. And then equipped to a championed character. Can you read it? I will read it for you. Each turn, there's a 13.98%, it's almost 14%, chance to make a 2-turn countdown tile that can be removed to negate power damage to the supported character. I'm expecting that means that as long as that countdown's out there, if some sort of power damage is going to happen, oh, I don't know, Omega Red's passive countdown stuff or Polaris passive stuff, you know what I'm saying? Any power that's going to do damage to you or to the equipped character, that countdown tile just gets removed to negate that damage. Sure, that's cool. It only happens right now, almost 14% chance once per turn. That's not a lot. This is level 150. I mean, it's not going to go up a ton more. It's going to go up a bit more, sure. If you want to look to the future, let's say maybe like, oh, maybe it's better at rank 5, right? The rank 4 ability says character's powers deal an additional 662 amount of damage. Probably goes up a little bit when you get to level 200, which is what it would be. Unlocks at rank 5 is make a match 5 or greater. There's it says 42%, but I know it goes up to 60% based on research done. Chance to send the enemy airborne for 2 turns. That's it. Now, if you're making match 5s, you probably want that crit damage to hit said opponent, don't you? I'm not saying this is a bad thing. Maybe you're using characters like, I don't know, 5-star She-Hulk or 5-star Archangel. You know, people who want the enemy to go airborne so you can mess with them more. And that's great. But more often than not, when you're making match 5s and you're aiming for them, it's with characters that love to abuse crit tiles and, you know, match damage and stuff. So this is a very niche ability. Might be nice in some situations, but overall, there's a lot of better supports out there. I mean, just take it. That's my opinion. You don't have to own it yourself. But I don't see myself using this on really anyone except for maybe to mess around. Put it on, I don't know, 4-star Nova? You know, because when the enemy comes down from being airborne, I don't even know if that would happen with him. I think he has to send them airborne for that damage to happen. Man. And I didn't have rank 5 to test that out anyways, so never mind. It just doesn't look that great. There's so many other things we can level up. I got hit in PvP. Oh well. Let's get into it. What are we here for? Oh, we'll do this now since we're here. Character effects. I'm doing it ahead of time, everybody. Oh my lord. Anyways, Deadpool Daily. Crash the Titans time. We have 2 different nodes to go and hit. One of them looks to be Juggernaut. The other one looks to be Ronin. Just by the icons alone. And first one. Crash the Titans. We're going against a level 291 Juggernaut. I remember back in the day I used to, pre-Ascension, I'd say that they were cheating because there's no way you could get a 1-star Juggernaut this high a level. Well, now you can. He just wouldn't be 1-star. He'd be like, what, 4-star? So, oh well. Still, it makes sense now. We could at least make some sort of argument for it. 1-star Juggernaut has been in the game since its inception. Juggernaut's been around since the earliest of early days for MPQ, and he hasn't really changed too much except for gaining his black power, which is only because Ascension came around. He used to be just a red-green guy that could only go up to level 40, and he sat there collecting dust, besides the one Deadpool Daily Quest node that everyone used him for. Good for his 6 green AP board shake and his 6 red nuke that hurts himself as well for a giant amount, honestly, at the proportion. But still, people love and abused him back for that purpose. Nowadays, he's actually a beast at the 5-star level if you ascend him that high. Not saying he's meta or anything, but it is scary. Still constantly used too with the Beta Ray build, Polaris build, because obviously you're getting a lot of green AP from those projectiles, and Juggernaut has probably the best ratio of green AP to board shake in the game. It's like 6 green for 16 tiles, I want to say. That's amazing. That's 10 more tiles than the AP you've spent. And as long as you're getting rid of at least 6 protects upon doing that, that means Juggernaut can just cast it again because Beta Ray Bill fed you all that green AP that Polaris and Jugs are helping with. It's crazy. It's a good ability, good character, still good to this day. Who do we get to fight against this guy with? Well, it's that same old cliche online, the unmovable object versus the unstoppable force. We get to use the Blob. I personally love the Blob, and I feel personally responsible that they put him in the game, because until Blob was put in the game, I had him in so many surveys. What character do you want to see? I wanted to see Fred Dukes in the game. Why? Did you play the X-Men arcade game? He was like the first boss, and I cannot help but remember him yelling every time you got to him, "Nothing can move the Blob," every time you get to him, and I just always thought it was hilarious. So Puzzle Quest came along, and I was wondering when the Blob would get introduced, and they finally did years ago. More about the Blob. The Blob is interesting. He is definitely a tank character. He's not a support character in any way. He wants to be your front man runner, and it makes sense because he is kind of a beast to work with. He isn't the best tank in 4-star land, far from it, but he is definitely not the worst. He does need some help doing it, though, because he tanks based on special tiles on the board. We're going to start with his black, because that kind of is the bread and butter for his entire character build. Weapon trapping costs 0. It's a passive. Everyone loves it. What was that? Is that 616? 4-star Thanos, 1232, same percentage. I mean, you're not wrong with the same percentage, right, John? I'm not going to fault you at all. But you have... if you fall shy by 1 green AP, then you can't cast it, right? I feel like it's a lot easier to be forgiven with Juggernaut because you only need to hit 6 of them as opposed to hitting 12 of them, the projectiles that is. But yeah, I think that's really the point. Like, I mean, if I want the damage, I'm going for Thanos, and I used to use Thanos for that all the time. But anyways, all right, back to what's on my screen here, right? Weapon trapping for his passive, it basically states. And I'm there's 8 rows to the game, right? There's 8 rows going across, there's 8 columns, right? The bottom 2 rows, if there's any strike, attack, and protect tiles in the bottom 2 rows at the beginning of your turn, he converts them into friendly 1-turn countdown tiles that, when expired, they have to expire naturally, okay? Have an effect based on what kind of tile was converted. You want strike tiles. Spoil alert. Strike tiles, when those are converted, they increase Blob's match damage by 120%. That's a big deal. I mean, kind of makes sense for a big guy, right? Attack tiles deal a good amount of damage. It's like a little mini nuke, you know, for just for converting a tile. That's not bad. And protect tiles restore the same amount of health to him instead, which is really good because he's tanking, right? He should be, especially as his match damage grows. He's going to tank more and more and more, and so you want that health restored to him. You're going to want a couple projectiles out there now and then just to keep him rolling, right? That's where his yellow comes in, unmovable. It's a passive that yeah, see right there at the top, nobody moves the Blob. Anyways, if the enemy team has already made their first match of the turn and would deal damage with another match, Blob moves to the front and creates a strength blah 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 yellow protect tile, limit of 1 tile per turn. So you can't just jump up to the front on the second match and make a projectile and then a third match and make another one, and no, that's not how it works. He just makes 1 and jumps when he jumps to the front. But that's good, because as long as we can make 1 per turn, he's going to get a little bit of healing, you know, 1 turn at a time. That's a good thing. This also opens him up to using supports that actually maximize that healing, like Yarrow Root, right? It gives you green AP, and also says when you heal, you actually heal for more. Stuff like that actually works really well on him. By the way, the other passive, it's a double passive. Look at that. All match damage default to Blob is reduced by 90%. That's pretty darn cool. I'm just saying. I don't even remember that one that much, honestly. Huh. That's actually cooler than I remembered. I don't remember that part of his passive. I just used him and was gleeful on how he basically dismantles Rocket and Polaris teams. It's really hard to outlast that over and over again. Remember when I said Yarrow Root's really good on him? You want that green up and running when you can, but it's not imperative, but it kind of is. Look at Bring Down the House. I don't have it at 5. I'm not saying it's horrible because I have it at 3. I'm just saying the other two abilities are so good I can't lower them from 5. It's impossible. My finger won't let me do it. Bring Down the House for 8. Let's put it at 5 just so you can see the full effect, right? Destroys 12 random basic and team up tiles in the bottom half of the board. Let me read that again, but with emphasis on the word 12 random basic and team up tiles. In other words, he's not going to destroy enemy strikes, allied strikes, friendly protects, attacks, anything like that. Because the point of this is to bring those tiles down to the bottom 2 rows. And he only destroys them in the bottom half. So he's leaving the strike, attack, and protect tiles alone, and the things in the top half are still going to fall down because of it. He wants to absorb them on his upcoming turn. It's in your benefit. It really is. Obviously at level 3, he's only destroying 6, but still a cascade's a cascade. Board shake's a board shake. We want those tiles to fall down to get more stuff into his belly. So, yes, putting something like Yarrow Root on him, and I just keep mentioning that one because he likes the green AP. It's pretty obvious, right? And then at the same time, more healing buffs when he actually heals. That's a good thing. In the end, he plays really well with strike-based making teams, and he's your tank for them. So like Rocket and him go together really well. Throw Polaris in there as well, and now you have an infinite strike-making source to make Blob super stupid strong. Yes, I've done that before because it's just fun. Is it the best combo in the game? No, not even close. Juggernaut does it better, but Blob just makes it fun. It's another way to go about doing things. Anyways, that's what I got for him. So I'm gonna go on and we're gonna show Juggernaut how it's done, right? Do we need to boost anything? Nah, let's just get to it. Punching out, cut the grass later. Okay. Well, nice to having you here, John. Let's see. Blob versus Juggernaut, right? We want to make tiles. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any tiles I can make here besides protects. And Juggernaut's not making any tiles either. But Blob needs a cascade to make any tiles that he can eat, which in this case, like I said, is protect tiles. So we just gotta hope that a cascade happens so he can heal. Since we only have a green active power, it's imperative that we match greens. We don't need to match black or yellow unless we just want to do match damage. See, let him take that match 4 of blue. Oh, there you go. Big dude. And now we're going to absorb that protect tile there. Make more green. Look at that. Got our health back. It hasn't even touched me yet. At least not technically. And all this match damage he's doing isn't really going anywhere. I will take this yellow with a crit because, you know, yellow is one of our matches, one of our 3 main colors. Is there any reason for me to do this right now? Not really. I think I'll wait till a protect tile pops up in the upper part of the board, you know, somewhere where I can move it on down. I don't see any greens. I could match the red to keep it away from him, but honestly I'm not too afraid of it. Juggernaut's red is a big nuke, but it hurts himself as well. And let's be honest, I'd rather just get rid of the guy sooner than later. Just storing the green. I see, well, I don't Do I want that yellow? Do I want that black? Do I keep the red away from? I don't think that matters. I'm gonna hope for match 5. Come on. I was hoping a yellow would drop in there. Come on. Oh, there's a projectile generate. Should I shake it now? I think I should. If only for the animation. Now, if you couldn't tell by my words earlier, it's not that I want the Blob because I'm a big The Blob fan. I'm kind of a big X-Men fan, if only because I grew up on the 90s cartoons and with some of the video games that go along with them. So playing this game for years and never seeing the Blob join in, I was always a little dismayed on that. Like, come on. He's been there for you guys for a long time. Let's give him some respect. I should shake the house again. Yeah, let's make this green match first, and then we'll bring down the house. I gotta match this green before he does. I don't see any green, so I'm going to match this blue to bring that protect down a little more. Here comes the headbutt. See? Hit me for about 4 grand, but he took like 2 himself. That's speeding up this match, to be quite honest. I'm going to bring this down low, so now we can absorb it. Oh, another protect too. So we're just going to take that right there, feed the belly. And I'm going to take this green. Got rid of one of my protects. See, look, we just healed back a good, half of that headbutt. Take this black. Good luck with the grass, John. Right, Amos. That grass puts up a fight. I don't know where you live at, but man, depending on the grass. See, hurt me, but I'm still have more than double his health. I'm not afraid of this at all. Although I do want another green match. Come on. It's like the only ability I have. Oh, here comes your puny toys, which would only really do something if I had protect tiles out there. Because it only hurts like special tiles, you know? That's a shame for him. Kind of wasted it. I'm just gonna match this blue. I'm waiting for him to do stuff to hurt himself more. There he goes. He's made another red match. He's gonna headbutt me again soon. Aw, there's a lot of green I wanted right there. What a jerk. I'll take that green. Got plenty of green right now. He's crashing through again. He's bringing that protect down for me. He keeps that up. I'm going to have it down low enough to where I can absorb it au naturel. There's that one. And I don't see any other greens out there. So I'm going to crash through this wall again. Whatever this fight is, wherever this is taking place, the collateral damage has got to be annoying. Like, there's just walls being destroyed left and right. That's not cool. These two guys, this is why they're villains. They don't care about home ownership. Do I take... I think I'll take this black right here. Ah, I made a green for him. Don't you dare bust those tiles. Dang it, got rid of my healing tile. That's where I keep all my healing at. Okay, there's that one. We're gonna take this red into green fun right there. I took some damage, but he's almost dead. One more headbutt, he's pretty much killed himself. And I've just healed a little bit more. I don't see a green, not ready at least, so I'm just gonna bring down the house some more. I don't really need to do that anymore, but just to do some damage. The next headbutt he does kills himself, so I'm gonna let him do it. Go on, take that red. Please do. So, as I was saying earlier, Yaru is good for him for his green generation, right? And not to mention for healing, amplifying the healing he does, right? But let's talk about this another way. You could always use low-level AI on him. Make strikes. Just saying. Doesn't matter how strong they are. Each one of them is going to raise his match damage by 120%. So generating a free strike tile every turn, not a bad way to go. That way you don't have to rely on Rocket then, do you? Polaris is still fun though, because multiplying those strikes gets him even more strike damage. I'm just gonna do this. Just bust through the wall some more. If you want to make your Crash of the Titans even quicker, I highly suggest putting on low-level AI. I think that'll make it go a lot faster. So there's one of the fights. And now for the other one. Ronin, or 4-star Hawkeye, as it were, came into MPQ, geez, what, half the game's lifetime ago? Came out on the Infinity War time. I think I just talked about him pretty recently, but let's go through it again. He has... His abilities are kind of all over the place. He doesn't really have one kit that is obvious. First off, his red is a passive. Whenever he or his teammates match a red, he makes some attack tiles, and if he already has attack tiles out there, he'll fortify them and fortify them? He does fortify them, right? I'll have to double check when I go into the game. Fortify and strengthen them. I know he strengthens them as well, but the fortify I'm questioning right now. I feel like he does. Anyways, that's the passive on the red. His green is an ability that only costs 6. Nice and cheap. Does a pretty decent nuke. It's like I shouldn't say a number because honestly, your mileage may vary. However, it's decent for the cost of 6 green, right? If it downs a person, he will then turn around and do another hit of the same exact amount of damage to the next enemy in line. And if that downs a person, then he'll turn around and do it again. And that's where he stops. You can only get up to 3 uses of this with 1 6 green casting. It's pretty darn good if you could time it out like that. You can maybe whittle one opponent down low, whittle another opponent down low, and then cast the green so you down, and then a third hit. That's usually the ideal way to cast it. But that means you're not focus firing and killing one person and then moving on. You're actually whittling them down and letting them live so you could do that green again. It's not the most ideal way to play, but then again, you're trying to use Ronin, so this is what you probably are working with. His purple, boy, let me try to remember what that does offhand. I remember it being somewhat strong. I remember it making a trap tile. I'm going to have to read it. I'm going to misquote it otherwise. I have an idea in my head of what it does, but too vague. I just remember in my build, it's 5 green, 5 red, 3 purple, because it's expensive. It's what? 11 purple? We'll have to go look at it. We'll go into it in a minute. Okay, we get to use Blob once again. Let's heal him up. But since we already know what he does, we've seen all his animations, we get the idea of him. Let me show you what I meant earlier. Obviously, you could put implanted bomb on him. I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Increase the supporter character's base match damage by 40% at level 150, right? 40% for each turn in a row that they make a match or use a power, max of 3 turns. It's not a bad thing to go with here. I mean, since he's the only one in the fight, obviously he's going to get the most out of that. There's an ability here that says where it kills him if he doesn't make a match or use an ability within 3 or 4 turns, but he's the only one in this fight, so he's fine. Also, when the supporter character makes a match 4 greater, they gain a burst heal of their max health. Good stuff, but I'm not going for that. I'm going for low level AI. We want to make a random strike every turn and eat that strike up. Nom nom nom. It'll be worth it. And I think we're good, right? Right. Someone did something. What's up? Hey, John. Used implanted. Oh, you used implanted, Bob? I'm gonna go for low level AI. I'm gonna see if we can show off the eating. We're gonna eat more. Nom 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 nom. Including eating this ninja or quasi ninja. Does he count as a ninja? Anyways. Ooh, guess what, guys? I hear the sounds of my little ones. Sounds like my family just came home. So, good thing we're on the last fight here. I would like that match 4 blue over there, but I'm going to bring this down with this green. Hopefully he doesn't make that blue match. I made a projectile because I'm big. If I have an interruption. Oh, I said I would look. Let's go look real quick. Purple. Yep, 11 AP. Called it. Stuns the target for a turn. Oh, no trap involved. My bad. I just don't use this one that often. It's too expensive for what it does. But I'll read on so you see. 11 AP. Stuns the target for 1 turn. Deals some damage. Pretty decent amount of damage, to be fair, to the target. And if one does not exist, put down a 3-turn countdown that stuns the target for 1 turn at the start of each turn it's on the board. So it's consistent 1-turn stun every turn the countdown exists. So if you have someone like King on your team that increases the countdown, you can keep stunning the person for free-ish, you know, for the cost of whatever that ability is. You get the point. Heck, it was when he was released long ago, it was joked around with that, oh, it's a natural partner for Bagman. Because Bagman's yellow can increase the countdown on any countdown he wants. So, yeah, it costs a lot. It's 11 purple. The green is 6. You'll get a way more mileage out of that green. Just saying, you don't have to do the builds I'm suggesting, but my suggestion is 5 in green, 5 in red, 3 in purple, because you're not going to use the purple that much. Anyways. What was that, Amos? I'm sorry, I was saying, but I like the sport more than I should. I think it's just because it's my first max one. That's, hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Okay, let's wrap this guy up with a bow, right? Oh, and the cool thing about the AI is, if I do match one of these strikes, it's just going to take the value and put it into something else. So I could match that blue over here, and then that value goes into another one. But Blob doesn't care. He doesn't care if the strike is worth 1 power or 10,000 power. Doesn't care what the power of the strike tile is. He's going to convert it into 120% match increase. So I'm going to leave it alone and try to keep it alive, so that way we can turn it into match damage increase. Ah, there goes. He matched away one of my strikes. But this attack tile is going to turn into a little tactical nuke for me. See? I guess I'll match that team up. I don't want that red ruining my day. Look at that, see? A little bit of damage there. 1849, just because. It would have done less, but these strike tiles are powering it. Yay! I'll do this. That red tile's a little lower. I need more green. He's not letting me have it. He's being mean. Purple. Purple, go left. What was that? Bagman? Only guy happy Puck. Only guy happy Puck and Penny came along with. And Reptile. I mean, Bagman's pretty bad. We all know this. But at least the joke is clear. The other characters aren't joke characters. Or are they? Like, Bagman is meant to be the joke character. The other guy's like, hey, I'm a serious character. And the rest of the cast is like, are you? Oh, I destroyed that attack tile. I want that. Okay, we got 2. They're about ready to eat. And nom nom nom. Ate some projectiles there. We got these strike tiles ready to devour. If I move this green, he's gonna match red. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I put that green up, he's gonna be a match 4 of red, and then he gets to match away that strike tile. And I want the strike tile, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Actually, it doesn't matter, does it? If he takes that green, I have no way of saving that red from being matched. Nah, we'll let it play out. Let you see it. See, here he goes. Nothing I can do about that. Okay, so I'm going to use it to fuel another one, right? I have to get rid of this red because he's going to do it for me if I don't. But I'm going to use it to get another strike down. Move it left. Low level AI kicks in. Now I have that strike down there. He just sliced my belly up. That was rude. Look at all these tiles I'm about to eat, though. Good eating coming in. Let's look at his match damage now. In the 400s, 411 for green, 316 for yellow, 360 for black. Now remember, it's 120%. So it's 120% based on now. It's gonna keep going up. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I guess what? I'll match that. That yellow? Sure. Let's watch the damage go up. Actually, this will be a good test of the calculations to see if I'm right. All right. Maybe I was off. With the green up to 557, it was just a little over 400 before. So maybe it was based on just the base damage. I don't know. It's a little weird. Okay. I think it did 120% based on the base damage of that base value of the color instead of the actual 400 and whatever percent it was. 400, I'm not percent, I'm sorry, the 400 something match damage it had on green. I don't think it did 120% of that. I think it did it based on the base. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're right, John. You got it. Because, you know, I know how to words or something like that. Let's bring those tiles down. Oh, 2,000 damage. Our match damage is getting pretty high. And we're just gonna absorb these ones. Yummy. And let's just bring down the house. Now that those tiles are secured as countdowns. And I think he's dead no matter what I do here. Yep. You speaks well English. Thanks, John. So, if you have... Okay, let me say this the right way. Certain tanks of the game are obvious tanks, right? The Blob is kind of an obvious tank, but he's a tank that needs a support behind him. That sounds weird. Like, you know... Karnak doesn't really need someone supporting them, and neither does Shang-Chi, but they do better when they have supporting characters behind them, right? Like Shang-Chi loves someone with board shake. He loves Mighty Thor for that reason. Gets some board shake going and he goes crazy. You know, Karnak loves someone that could feed him some AP so that he can create more crit tiles more often, right? Blob is just like that. He's your tank character. He wants to be in front. He wants to protect the team with his jumping to the front mechanic and get his match damage up higher by eating tiles. But he does a lot better when you have someone feeding him strike tiles and other yummy strike attack projectiles to enforce his abilities. So if you want to use Blob, just keep that in mind. He loves someone who plays with those sap tiles. So... Or you can just use them against sap tile teams. That's another way of looking at it. But there you go. That is the Crash of the Titans featuring the Blob versus Juggernaut and Ronin. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We're pretty much coming down and winding down off of all our anniversary stuff. So not much more to say. We'll be having probably another boss before we know it because it's been a while. And we're going to have a puzzle gauntlet soon, too, because I haven't done one of those in a while. You can kind of tell by the timing of events. These things are coming, right? So I'll see you guys really, really soon. And oh yeah, I got a poll coming here soon too. Did you know that? I didn't know until just the other day. These burning rubber tiles are going to expire in 6 days. I guess I should spend them all at that point. Okay? Thanks for joining me, John. Thanks for joining me, Eric and Amos. Have a good one. Bye.